Do the viewers want to see my stitches, dude? Oh, we gotta do the light. Let's see if it works. It won't focus. Whatever.
Okay.
I won't be talking that much. It fucking hurts to talk.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm like yelling on class. I'm like, alright, guys!
What does it feel like?
I don't know. You never have chick pool? Yeah, you have good teeth genetics. You should
My
understand.
dentist says my jaw's wide enough in the back that it'll fit all the wisdom teeth.
He's got a big mouth, dude.
Yeah. Alright, anyways, hello you guys. Welcome back to Podcast Unbroken, episode 11. We were lagging on the last episode, but that's alright. Technical difficulties. We should be able to run just fine and store all the footage on this camera, so we don't have to switch to a phone. Today we have Chelsea. How do you pronounce your last name?
Saint Jacques.
Saint Jacques.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
French.
French? Okay, nice. How much French are you? Do you know?
I've never done like the ancestry or anything like that, but my mom is technically from France.
What do you mean
no,
technically?
Technically, well, so we have side from French Canada and then side from France. So I don't know exactly how much is Canadian and how much is French.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, we have you on the podcast today because you are a physical therapist. You also are pretty diverse, and you do a different type of. Would you call it fitness? Yeah. Yeah, different type of fitness regimen that you follow. You also do CrossFit on the side as well. What's kind of your background? What was Chelsea's life growing up?
So I grew up with a twin brother who I think I can definitely say I got my competitive side from him. I always had to be the better twin, and he was always much more physically fit than I was. Just, I think being a boy, he was just naturally gifted like that. So we played a lot of sports, and I always played co-ed. It was easier for my mom than finding a babysitter or trying to drive to two different team sports. So it was just easier for her to just dump us all in co-ed. So I grew up playing basketball, baseball, never did soccer. We did do a little bit of tap dance randomly, but I was always pretty physically active. It wasn't until I would say my senior year in high school where I wanted to live outside my brother's shadow because he was always excelled, and he went for the water sports and I did the land sports. So I played field hockey and lacrosse, really liked it, and stuck with it. And then since then, when I got into college, I was terrified of gaining that freshman 15. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta go to the gym. So I took a weight training class, learned how to work out basically, and then.
What were you going to school for?
At the time I was going to school for physical therapy. I changed my major to nursing, and then I changed it back to athletic training with basically it's 3 classes different than physical therapy. And then, from there I basically was just going to the gym, swimming, running, and then about a year and a half ago, that's when I decided I needed something different, and I took up aerial.
So, before you came, I didn't really know what aerial was. I knew that at our gym we had silks and stuff, and I'd heard about it, and I'd seen pictures randomly here and there, but I didn't really know what it was. How did you find out about it and get into it, and then do it as much as you do now?
So it was actually my friend Maylee. She was the one, met her in college. She is always very outgoing, and she really wanted to try this aerial class, and she found this on Groupon, and we bought a Groupon and we went over and tried a few classes, and I really, really liked it. It was a lot of fun. But I was a poor college student and didn't have any money, and it's not the cheapest thing, so
Scam. Don't go to college.
Yeah.
Stay out of college, kids.
You don't need it. Experience is better. But then it wasn't, we had a massage therapist come in through Fix, and she actually was a professional aerialist who performed in Vegas. and she did some crazy stuff. Silks was her main apparatus, but she also did what they call chains, so where you would hang from chains, which is incredibly painful. And then she also hung from hooks as well. So she did the, I forget what you call it, but basically where they put the hooks in you and you do...
In you, like, as in...
Like through your body.
Yeah.
What my tattoo artist did that.
Yeah. So I forget what they call it, but you basically, it's like a form of... I don't even know, but
so like they put like the hole in you, and you put hooks through the hole, or is it like legit? They're like sticking hooks through your skin.
Yeah, they hang you like through fish hooks.
There's like a specific way to do it, so you don't like mess up your muscles and stuff.
Yeah, it's really specific, and most people who end up doing it end up getting full body tattoos afterwards to hide the scars.
Okay.
So most of the time, so it's interesting why your tattoo artist did it too.
Mm-hmm.
So
it'd be an interesting conversation starter. Really scars? Well,
Lenny,
I like to hang hooks. I can't remember what. He's in a rock band, and he does it for relaxation all the time. Like it's a hobby of his. I can't remember who it was, but
he does it to relax.
Yeah, he like hang for I don't know, like 45 minutes or something. It's weird. Yeah, my tattoo artist talked all about it, and he said that he's tried it, and he's just like, it's not for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me either. I'll just assume that.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that. No, thank you. But yeah, so I met her and it inspired me. I was like, well, I have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm getting bored in the gym, and I wanted to try something different. And so I looked on Groupon. I found this Groupon, and I was like, all right, well, I'll go try this out. And I tried it out, and I loved it. I felt instantly like welcomed. It was like a community. I was like, okay, let's do this. And I gave up going to the gym, I think, for a solid year, and I dove like head first into aerial, and I just felt like it was a way for me to get outside of like
your daily
fitness
life
for a while.
Okay.
And because I worked always in a gym, I was always in a gym. It was nice for me to still get my workout and not think about it, and still have fun with
like
my friends. Yeah. And so now I kind of miss the gym a little bit. So I mean, and then of course when we had our fire, our building burned down and we came here, I had actually never done CrossFit before, so you guys were very much like a family too, and I fell in love with it because it was just fun. It was like hanging out with friends, and I didn't have to think about it. It was more, I can turn my brain off for a change and actually just work out kind of thing. So
a lot of people come here and their brain goes a million miles per hour because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like, snatch. It's like that meme lady with all the numbers around her head. It's just like, what the hell's going on? So you mentioned the aerialist from Vegas. Did I say that right? Aerialist? Mm-hmm. She came through Fix, and so Fix Body Group is an attachment to our facility where you have like multiple locations. You end up burning down, which kind of like brought most of you guys over here for a while. Mm-hmm. How long have you been with Fix, and like were they your first PT gig or?
So I've been with Fix now for just a little over 2 years, and they weren't my first PT gig. I did work at a spine clinic for a few months, but I wanted to focus on I wanted to go back to school for PA or physician's assistant. I, at the time, was thinking about the money, and I was like, how can I make the most money?
There you go.
And I really wanted to do that, so I started working at a hospital, and I became an EKG tech / monitor tech, and I was working basically with the heart, and I fell in love with the heart. I still love the heart. I think it's an amazing muscle. But I realized that PA was not for me. It was like one of those things, don't meet your heroes. I realized doctors are humans and they make mistakes, and I was like, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, per se. And the hours were ridiculously crazy. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I got more enjoyment from like helping people on a daily basis than I did from just reading heart rhythms all day. and kind of just being behind the scenes. And you would meet with a lot of patients for like 5 minutes, and then that was it. And then a lot of the stuff was done like paperwork, lots of charting, where this is so much more hands-on. I get all that patient experience, all the people experience, and everything I see I can actually witness myself versus, okay, well, you're better, goodbye. So
you're fixing problems. Kind of sounds like a similar situation that Shauna was in, where she was like, I think she was going to schooling to be a nurse for a while, and then she kind of realized like people are coming in with all these problems that could have been fixed through nutrition and exercise and all this stuff. So it's like, she's like, yeah, I don't want to fix people when they've broken themselves. I'd rather help them not get broken in the first place. Right. So it kind of sounds like a similar path, which is nice because like it seems like everyone nowadays is like, I'm going to nursing school, and it's kind of like, I mean, obviously nurses are very important, but also we need to like make sure people are kind of stay away from the hospital as much as possible.
Right.
Like, yeah, so.
It's about the prehab instead of the rehab.
Yeah. So with that being said, what is like, because you work with a lot of different types of people. You work with athletes, you work with like just, moms and dads, you work with like everybody. What's like some of the biggest issues you see with people, like whether they have pains or imbalances or poor movement patterns? Like what are some of the biggest problems you see with a lot of people? Like what's the most common thing?
Well, so for me, working here at Fix, I am considered more so a lower body specialist.
Okay.
And so I get a lot of hip, knee, ankle, foot injuries. I still do get like upper back and neck and stuff. We are a chiro clinic, so a lot of people do come in for that. But my biggest thing that I get a lot of are feet. A lot of people come in with a lot of foot problems. And most of the time it's actually due to hips. And a lot of people...
So you're saying their foot problems, so it's not foot affecting the hips, it's usually hips affecting the foot?
Yes.
Okay.
And usually it can be something, the way you sit in a day. So like the way you're sitting now.
Don't look at mine.
The way you're sitting now, you're leaning more to one side versus the other. And that's just natural for how couches are made, how chairs are made. Like most people, when they sit on a mouse, they don't type like this. They're usually leaning to one side. When we drive a car, usually the right leg is getting more work than the left leg. Even how you lean on one side versus the other, one side is usually getting more work. Also how you're crossing a leg. You're doing a pigeon stretch on one side versus the other side, right? And I'm guilty of this too. I know I always tuck my left leg in versus my right leg, and hence why this leg is looser than this one. Mm-hmm. It's just what we do in a daily situation. And those physically active people who don't really realize it, they're doing more on one side than they are the other, right? That usually leads to something down the kinetic chain. Most of the time it goes to feet from what I've seen. So, and most of the time it's usually caused by a weak hip that's collapsing in. It transfers all the way down to their foot.
Interesting. So people will come in and say like, my foot hurts, or like what do they say about their foot?
So the biggest one I get is one, plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis. Okay. Both of those are mostly caused by poor mechanics, right? Poor mechanics can be anything from the arch is collapsing in because your calf isn't strong enough, which your adductor is not strong enough, your glute's not strong enough, right? So again, it's one side's getting more work than the other side. And it has everything to do with, again, what you're doing throughout your daily life. Even standing, for instance, when people stand, they usually tend to stand on one hip more than the other. And again, you're working one side more than the other. So what people do throughout their entire life over a daily basis is more than what you're doing than a couple hours in the gym, right? So that's going to affect you over time. And those people that are taking more steps throughout their day are more physically active, it's going to affect them more. So it's one of those things where trying to do everything on both sides as much as possible, but also being aware of how your posture is throughout the day.
Okay.
So
this is perfect posture right here. What it looks like.
This
is what perfection looks like right here.
Okay. This is what symmetry is right here. Yeah. So what you say you're a lower body specialist. How did you become such?
So that's actually what I specialized more so when I went to school. So when I did my athletic training major, we were assigned sports teams that we basically were in charge of their prehab, their on-site emergency care, and then the rehab if they ever did get injured. So basically, being in charge of the track and field team was when I dealt with a lot of my lower body injuries. I did almost every sport, but mainly I was in charge of basketball, track and field, tennis, and football.
Definitely the big ones.
Yeah, the big ones. But for the most part, I dealt with like 100 people on the track and field team, so I saw just about everything. But I worked so much with glutes, knees, ankles, toes, a few shoulders, but for the most part, that was part of my programming, was making sure that torn hamstrings were getting fixed, making sure that SI joints were nice and even for the track runners or the long jumpers. Had a lot of ACL tears that we had to rehab, a lot of sprained ankles that we had to rehab. So I just got really familiar with the mechanics of the lower body. I did work with the water polo team, but there wasn't as many injuries, so I didn't get as much shoulder rehab as I probably would have liked. But for that reason, I would say I'm more of a lower body specialist. And I'm also really, really good with feet. Not that I have a foot fetish, but I think the feet are very, very interesting because they're very tiny bones, very small muscles that have to support such a large amount of weight all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think the mechanics of the foot are just insane, for one. What we can do with our feet is way more crazy than like doing a snatch, in my opinion. But most people forget about their feet. Most people don't even train their feet. But they're the first thing to hit the ground in the morning and the last thing to hit the ground in the night. And people don't realize that. So
I actually walk on my hands. So.
Yeah, you do.
CrossFitter.
You do.
Walking around my hands.
Yeah, I got your specialties.
These puppies, you know?
50% on the hand, 50% on the feet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you think you saw a lot of tears and problems because the strength and conditioning coaches weren't doing what they should do, or was it just part of the sport?
A little bit of both. So the strength and conditioning coaches, from what I saw, would write out a program and kind of just stand there and just let the girls or the guys just do their thing. They weren't really checking form as much. The coaches would approve the program and it was up to the players to kind of do it. And most of the players I worked with were a D1 scholarship, so they were... Yeah, so they would do it, but it's not like they were...
That's weird, yeah. So would you ever be around, like, trying to help, or...?
I would, but for the most part, when they would do their strength and conditioning, that's when all of the injured athletes would come into the athletic training room to get their rehab instead of doing the actual strength and conditioning portion. So if there was no injured athletes, someone would go in there and make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to. But every time I was in there, it wasn't very structured.
And did you work with the strength and conditioning coaches? Like, let's say 12 weeks go by and it's time for like another program or the season's about to start. Did they ever go, hey, Chelsea, what injuries and things did you see so that we can make sure the program is covering those things? Or was it just like they wrote whatever they thought was right?
A little bit yes and no. So they would write whatever they thought was right, but then they would come to us and be like, why do we have so many shoulder injuries? And I'd be like, well, because your program is lacking this, this, and this. And they would try to incorporate as much as they could, but in their mind, this is what they thought was right. So it was definitely a give and take. We would try to give as much as we could, but they would only take a very little bit. So.
With that being said, it sounds like almost the vast majority, at least, of the problems were due just to mechanics. Whether they be poor mechanics they practice on the field or in the weight room. Was there a lot of issues like with just like muscular strength, like their glutes just weren't strong enough, or like their calves weren't strong enough? Was that like what's the ratio of injuries because of bad movement versus injuries of lack of strength?
It was was definitely more so mechanics, and the reason I say that is because a lot of those athletes were overworked. So when you're tired, your mechanics go to shit. It's not that they weren't strong enough, it's just that a lot of them would get overworked. And then
like overuse injuries.
yeah, it was, so I always would say it was more so in the mechanics than it was the strength.
Okay.
I mean, like lack of strength does lead to poor mechanics, so
True. But
it's a domino effect.
yeah,
Overworked,
so
lack of strength, death.
Yeah, I don't want to die, so I'm just gonna do both. Just gonna get stronger and move better. Go figure. So secret recipe.
Should I cross it?
Yeah. So I guess we can kind of brush up on this and get your opinion on it. So today I did a quick video on my Instagram talking about how, like, first when CrossFit Health came out, I thought it was like almost like a joke. Have you seen what CrossFit Health has done? It's like their new little like side project they're doing where they're focusing more on, like, I would say just like elderly and or sedentary people that don't really do much.
I mean, you should be excited. It's something you can find on the RX.
Yeah, I can freaking lift up a jug, no problem. But have you seen those videos? Like, do you follow CrossFit on Instagram?
I do, but I have not seen the CrossFit Health.
So it's a whole separate Instagram too, but they post it on their main CrossFit page where it's like literally they'll have like elderly people like do deadlifts with like a pair of like jugs with like windshield wiper fluid in it or something like that, or they'll like go to like a set of stairs and they'll like step up, step down, step up, and like in my eyes I look at that, I'm like, that is so dumb. But then
I thought about it.
What?
Then you thought about it for more than 10 seconds?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm an athlete, okay? I can totally climb stairs. But then, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, the whole point of it is, like, for a lot of people that don't... Because when CrossFit first came out, it wasn't meant to be, like, just for athletes. It meant, like, a lot of moms are doing it. That's why, like, the first workouts named after girls that were doing the workouts and, like, we found out they were badasses and doing pull-ups and all that stuff, and, like, they named workouts after them. But it's, like, CrossFit's meant to be, like, a world... like a whole fitness program for anyone in the world can do, and it's always scalable so anyone in the world can do. With that being said, like, it's meant for people that again are sedentary to move, and it like shows people like, hey, you can like find an object around your house and like pick it up and push it over your head. Because I have elderly ladies that you've seen do the Lift Your Wiser class, and it's like, it's funny because they're in like their 60s. And they're so hard on themselves, like, oh, I messed up on that thruster. Or this is so hard.
These snatches, right?
Yeah. Oh, ring rows, oh man, these and that last rep wasn't good. And I'm like, you guys are miles ahead of anyone your age. Like, some people your age look like they're gonna like keel over any second. Like, some people, like, they still smoke and they drink and they don't take care of themselves, they don't work out, do anything. And it's like, it's funny, like, people my age that like are super out of shape and like don't take care of themselves like at all. Like, even like you don't, like, just go for a run or something. But it's like, I think it's a cool thing that CrossFit's doing, to help promote like health and wellness. What do you like, if let's say you have someone come to you that's 50, 60, 70 years old and doesn't do any kind of movement, do you give them like homework? Do you prescribe things yeah?
And I would say it's very similar to that. Like, my biggest thing I tell people to grab are just cans. A lot of people have like canned corn, canned green beans, canned refried beans, whatever it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could go for a bean party. But like something around their house, because even like a jug of milk for a lot of like my women clients, that might even be like too heavy, whereas like a can, it's easy, you can grab it, it still has some weight to it. And like I tell them like all the time, like when you're sitting on your couch, just do some like leg raises, keep those legs moving. When you're reach up to the side, stretch it on out, do a few twists here and there. Like, just don't just be like this the whole time.
Like we've been doing right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'll see.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
When I see like 80-year-old like ladies that are like super short and like they're literally like this and like they couldn't extend it, they tried to. And it's like, oh my gosh, like how do you feel? Like your spine is doing so much extra work right now and that like being hunched over like that. But like that's just what they've come to like fold over, and like they literally, I'm pretty sure they couldn't put something over their head if they tried to.
Right.
So that's crazy, like to think that that's the normal. People get older, like they experience pains. Oh yeah, you know, that's just part of getting old. Wait until you get as old as me, or you'll understand when you get to my age. It's like,
I hate hearing that.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves ever.
Well, it's also, I feel like it wasn't until like, I want to say maybe like 10 years ago that women even in the gym was like accepted. Like it was rare when I would go to the gym and I would be I would be the only woman there, and I was like, there'd be like 3 other girls, and like guys would always be like, "Oh, there's a girl in here."
Yeah.
There's a girl in here.
It's like when you play Xbox and the girls would come on the mic. You're like, are you a girl?
Yeah. So I feel like for that older generation of like women, they still, I mean, it's accepted now because women in the gym, like everybody works out. But back in the day, like I don't think a lot of women went to the gym unless they went and did like some kind of cardio equipment.
That's true.
Plus, I think it's a little intimidating.
It is.
Like even when I go to the gym and I don't like know anybody there, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do my thing in the corner. People are gonna watch me because I'm doing CrossFit stuff. So I can't imagine if you don't have experience in moving at all
and you're a girl.
Well, and you're older, and it's just you're not comfortable with everything. It just makes you even tougher.
Yeah. So, and that's why I think that the CrossFit Health, like what they're doing is like really good because you don't have to have a gym to do it. You can move, you can stay active, you can be healthy just by doing simple things.
And they're also like trying to change so much about like the like health and wellness industry, I guess you could say, of like how all these researchers are getting or research papers and like stuff are getting like shut down by these big soda companies, and like how they're trying to change like so many different things on like the doctor side and trying to show people like that, I feel like in my eyes, like if you're going to go to a doctor, like a routine doctor, like if you have like, especially if you're older and you have like, you always have these aches and pains, like you should have someone that understands your lifestyle and what you're doing. Because some doctors, like people will come in here, I think I've mentioned this a few times, people will come in here and they'll be like, yeah, my doctor said to stop squatting for like 4 weeks. And I'm like, your doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. Go over there, do couch stretch, let's foam roll, let's get everything moving and activating. Wow, my knee stopped hurting. My ankle feels better. It's like, well, when we take care of ourselves, like these things aren't meant to happen. Like your body is a machine. Your body is like, can take so much abuse, but if you give it abuse every single day, eventually it's going to break on you.
And that's the thing, a lot of people, when they go to the doctor, I mean, yes, there are some orthopedic doctors that deal with like muscles and bones, PTs, chiros, doctors, things like that. But most of the time, like if you go and see your
primary physician,
they specialize more so in disease than they do muscles for the most part. So I always tell people, I'm like, go to your chiropractor. That's what they deal with is muscles and bones all the time. They can help you out. Or just coming in and seeing like a specialist. Like, don't go to a doctor for knee pain. Like, unless you're like older, it probably might be arthritis or something like that. But for the most part, movement is going to help with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the majority of people do primary care because you have to go through that for your insurance to send you anywhere else. But CrossFit actually provides a list of local doctors that do CrossFit. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can Google like your area and it'll tell you, hey, these are the doctors in your area that are primary care physicians that do CrossFit and know about CrossFit and have been through like the process of being on this website.
CrossFit.com?
I'm pretty sure CrossFit.com. Yeah.
Wow.
I looked it up the other day.
That's very nice.
Primary. Yeah. So when you go talk to your doctor, you're like, yo, I do CrossFit. They're not gonna, be
like, oh yeah, what'd you snatch?
But they hope. I think like what they're trying to make this happen is if you go to somebody like that, they're not gonna go here. Let's give you blood pressure medicine. They're gonna recommend you some diet and exercise tips, which that's awesome. That's literally I listened to a podcast, Dr. Andy Galpin, and when you're doing your PhD for I think he is sports performance, like supplements or sports performance, something like that. He had to go to medical school as like medical students, but he had to do 4 weeks or something like that. And he said he remembers one of the professors talking to everybody like, hey, we actually do have something that cures all of these diseases. It helps it makes it happen. And everybody in the whole class is like, oh my gosh, they have this already? What is it? And Andy Galpin says he remembers like sitting in the back like, yeah, we do have a cure for this. And the teacher was like, diet and exercise. And everybody's mind was like, because they were thinking he was going to say some like magic drug, which, I mean, you guys can see how much positive comes from diet and exercise, but
it is a magic drug.
Yeah.
That's attainable to everyone.
Most people.
I just think a lot of people don't like it. Because it's funny, because you guys know I coach a Saturday class, and people will bring in their friends. And
what time?
Oh, you didn't know?
No.
Oh, well, I coach a Saturday class.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. People bring in like, what did that noise? Oh, the fridge. People bring in like their friends, coworkers, whatever, and they'll come and they'll do a workout, and like sometimes they're like, wow, that was awesome, got my butt kicked. That was a great workout. Like they because they actually enjoy working out. Maybe they do something else on the side. Where other people bring friends, and it's like they do half the warm up and they have to sit down, and they're like, oh my gosh, they kind of like look around. I've had people literally come to like half the warm up, grab their keys and leave because it's like it was just too much for them. But especially because the city that we live in, San Diego, it's like everyone goes out partying, drinking. Everyone, there's so many amazing restaurants to eat at. There's so many activities you can do that are like, sedentary activities. Like you don't really need to be fit to go to the beach. You don't really fit to go to the movies or like go on a hike. You can be, it doesn't take a lot of energy to just hike. But like, a lot of people just, I feel like, don't like to work out. Or at least haven't found a workout program that works for them. Some people will come in and like they'll do CrossFit and they're like, yeah, it's cool. And some people do like F45, which is like a new boot camp craze going on. And people love that. Or people do Zumba. People do like, it's really just finding what makes you happy at the end of the day and what keeps you moving.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I tell people all the time, like, if you don't have a gym at home, like, why are you coming to like see me? Like, do you want at home workouts? Do you want me to just give you knowledge on this? Like, I tell people, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm great. I can help you. I can help motivate you. But I need you to find something that you like doing, whether that's swimming, whether that's Pilates, whether it's yoga. I don't care. But, like, find something, like, do ClassPass, do something. Like, take the free CrossFit class. I recommend that class all the time. Main thing is because you guys are such a great community and you guys are very family oriented, and I love it. So, and I think
I hate you, that's
and I think everybody could use that when working out because
that's a big part. Yeah,
it is super intimidating working out. So, and I think finding that something that helps drive you and gets you motivated is the best fitness that you can do.
When people just come into the gym, like I'm sitting at the front desk or hanging out by the front, people come in and they just like. They walk, like make a beeline straight to me, like, what are your prices? Like, that's like a huge red flag in my mind. Like, this person didn't take up the time to look up what CrossFit is. Like, they don't have any questions for me. They didn't like look up our prices. They didn't go to our website and look up the prices themselves. It's like this person literally just saw, oh, they driving by CrossFit Humanity. They pop in. How much do I gotta pay? What is it? $20 a month? All right, let me come in and do some workouts. Like, people don't understand that. Like, it's a commitment to come to a gym. Like, we don't want people to come in here and just kind of and not really enjoy it because. Then it's if you don't like the class, then it has an effect on the class because I'd spend more time with you because you're having to take a longer time to learn movements because you're newer anyways. So it's like when I tell people, if people come in and they give me that answer, I'll usually give them the price straight up because it'll usually scare them away anyways. Or I'll say, oh, have you done CrossFit before? No. Oh, do you work out? No. Oh, well, we have like a fundamentals program that help you learn movement stuff. Oh, no, I worked out in high school. Well, we make sure everyone moves really efficiently, so I want to make sure you stay injury free. So it's like it's funny. Some people will come in and ask a million questions.
horrible salesman.
Please, I'm the horrible salesman.
What's the price? $250.
Yeah,
we'll try to get him to stay.
We'll have another Scott come in. You remember that guy? The tall guy that watched you work out that one time.
I shouldn't say that on camera.
I'm pretty sure he's not watching this.
I want to bleep that out.
Okay. Anyways,
this guy's on one today.
Yeah, that guy rubbed me the wrong way. But every single other member that ever comes to our gym, I love, and I start conversations with them. I know everything about them because we are a community, and it's like when people come in, just like, what are your prices? Then I know they're not here, like they're just looking for something that's going to help them get like immediate results, and then go to the next craze that they find out about.
Yeah, well, I like everybody except Jimmy. Fucking Jim Jam.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes Jimmy. Well, awesome. So one thing that I noticed that when you work with a lot of your people, that I've heard you actually mention it before, is that you're not just a PT, but you're also you lend an ear. Like you also build friendships and relationships with people, and you kind of get to know them. And I feel like that's an important part, whether no matter what realm, really no matter what you do in life. Because I've gone to a couple of chiros in the past. I've gone to some masseuses in the past, like some other, professionals, to get, assistance with on things. And they'll just kind of you know, oh, how's it going? All right, you know, massage or crack you up. All right, see you again next time. Where it's like, I come see Jared, and Jared's like asking about my weekend. Jared's like, hey man, you know, this is bugging, so do some of these exercises and stuff. I feel like that's one thing that you guys as like a clinic is like so beneficial because everyone's super nice and caring, and you guys have like your own little community.
We do, and that's the main thing that I love about Fix, and that's why I wanted to work for them. I applied actually at a few other physical therapy offices, but this was the one when I interviewed with 3 different people, and I was like, I really like how this office is run, and I really like how it's, again, very family oriented. We're a very tight-knit community. We communicate with each other, and we actually really care about our patients. As much as we like love having patients come in, we like seeing them get better, do better, and live their lives. And that's why, I mean, we really do care. That's why we have this whole space where we do the chiro, the massage, and the training, because we want to get them at 100% so they can get back to doing what they love.
And I feel like because you guys care like that, so a lot of people have different opinions on like chiropractors. So I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. It was a lot older one. It wasn't a new one. And he was talking about he was talking to another person about how like they think chiropractors are a hoax. It was all started on like some guy making it up, which I mean I guess is so like the original practice of it was kind of funky how it started. But like nowadays, it's like there's not a time I don't go see Jared and like I instantly feel better after he adjusts me or he helps me with a certain tight spot that I have. Like it works for sure.
Joe Rogan's probably high, dude.
Yeah, he's probably high when he said it. But like when you guys go and you actually care about people, it's like yeah, they're more willing to spend their money. And then if they have issues in the past, come back to you, refer your friends. Like I feel like that's one big thing. Again, going back to any business, I can't stand when I'm going to a store. And it's like person kind of like behind the register is kind of like, oh, what do you want? All right, here's your number. Like nothing. Whereas like one time I came up to a guy at a restaurant and the guy was like, well, your food's gonna take like an extra few minutes than normal. Here's like a free soda cup. And I was like, oh damn. I go to that guy. Well, I don't anymore
because
it was Tahini, the Greek place I mentioned to you before.
Is that close?
I don't hope so. I hope not. I haven't been there in a few months or so.
Probably.
But when that first initial time happened, that was my first time there, my first impression. So when I went there and did that, I was like, oh damn. So I went there like every week for like a few months after that, because I was like, if you truly care about people and you want to like make them happy, it's like it all comes back around.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Definitely agree.
cool. Let's end on some like cool stories. What's like the most challenging like person you've had to help with any issues?
Well, without
Probably Shaver, right?
definitely Shaver. He comes in with a different problem every time I see him.
It's hard to fix broken ribs.
I mean, rest. That's the only thing really you could do for those.
Yeah. How do I work on my rest? How many reps of my rest do I do? How many sets and reps?
I think your Whoop will help with that.
Well, that was in the green today, so I felt like I was in the red. I don't know, it's broken or something. So.
But the one of the most difficult clients I ever had, she had 2 back surgeries, had a whole rod in her spine, basically from her thoracic all the way down to her sacrum.
Jeez.
Were her vertebrae flush with it, or were they still kind of helping with the curve?
Her vertebrae were pretty much flush with it. She didn't have the curve anymore.
So she could barely hinge?
Basically. She got into a bad accident, and so had to, I wasn't there for that, but she rehabbed there, but she was having a lot of back issues. She had 2 torn labrums and arthritis in both knees. Yeah, so basically I was trying to get her strong enough so that she could be active again.
Mm-hmm.
She really likes to hike, she likes to swim, she was a school teacher, she really liked to stay active. She had grandchildren, she's like, I just want to be able to pick up.
Absolutely.
And she was definitely more of one of my more difficult clients, because everything I did I had to make sure, like, well, can she even hold this weight, or is it going to hurt her shoulder? Mm-hmm. Can she hinge here, or is that going to hurt her back?
Definitely a test of your knowledge.
Yes. So she was she's still one of my favorite clients.
You still see her?
I see her occasionally when she has a minor flare-up, but she is doing so much better. She, I can't take all the credit, but she definitely is doing a lot better with her back. She's like, I wake up without no more pain. She actually bought one of the tools I told her to get, and she's like, I have 2 of them, so in case if one ever breaks, I have another one just in case. But for the most part, I was making sure her knees stayed nice and strong, getting her glutes to fire again to protect her back, so that way she could hike again.
Do we know her? Have you seen her?
She the one comes with a husband?
She does, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned something about it. That's another crazy, well, not crazy, but it's like another crazy, well, I guess it's crazy. It's another crazy...
Crazy stuff. It's crazy.
It's not crazy, but it's crazy, yeah. It's a crazy idea to think of that some people, again, are super sedentary and don't utilize all these, like, their body, like, and the blessing that it is to have. Some people get injured, some people are born with certain, like, you know, with CP, some people, like, literally can't do certain things. And it's like, you know...
Don't take advantage of your body, folks.
Yeah. Keep
Use
yourself,
it if you got it.
Yeah, keep yourself healthy. You don't have to play sports. You don't have to go to the gym, but just do stuff. Go out. Go run. Go bike. Go do something.
Fortnite.
It's a beautiful city. I mean, there's plenty of streets and places that you can walk down that are really beautiful to see, especially like Newport Village, or Seaport Village, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry if you don't live in San Diego.
Yeah, if you don't live in San Diego, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, I don't know. Bike ride, maybe?
Yeah, probably saving a lot of money, but anyway.
Yeah. You probably don't spend all your money just on rent. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're paying mortgages right now. But yeah, I think that what you do is like an awesome profession because so many people. I wish if I ever have anyone with an injury, I'm gonna refer them to you because whenever I see someone like with an injury, they kind of just like try to brush it off and treat it like it's nothing. It's like you don't want to let these things fester and get worse, and all of a sudden now you become that guy with that bad shoulder that can't do anything overhead. Like you, I think were you maybe you can let me know. You were working with Dimitri for a while.
I still work with Dimitri.
Does he go to Fixed Body as well?
I don't know.
So he's like a.
He might. I think he comes in for massages every now and then.
I think that's something he was doing. But like the other thing about like he was known for like he couldn't snatch. He would not snatch because it always hurt his shoulder. Always hurt his shoulder. Like for the first year that I knew him, and then he started being. And now he's being more proactive. And he's like, you know, I'm not gonna let my shoulder hurt. Like I'm gonna try to do more stuff. And he had already been doing a few things here and there. But then we started working with you. I think he started going next door and getting massages. It's like when you know. Try all possible routes and see if you can fix something. You don't just let something be that way. Like you don't have to be the broken shoulder guy. Right. You don't have to be. Nick used to always have his shoulder pop out all the time.
Oh my
ridiculously, and it doesn't happen anymore. Has it ever happened with you knowing him?
No, he's had like a few issues here and there, but I mean.
I know it's one of his shoulders kind of bugging him now, but that's because
he. As much as I love my job and I tell him I love my job, he thinks that, you know, it's my job, so he doesn't want to ask me for anything. I tell him, I'm like, well, I do love you, and I would love to make you feel better, so you don't have to hide that from me. But, yeah.
That's funny.
It's a significant other thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, I want to get in shape and do this, and I'm like, I can help you with all of that. I literally do it for people for money. He's like, no, not you. I don't want you. So he comes to see Shauna.
Not you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it is. It's a significant other thing.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. Unless you're Tia Claire Toomey.
Yeah, then you have your husband do
your husband is your coach.
All of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's insane.
NBD.
Okay. Well, anything you want to say to
Shout
our
out.
huge following before we
27 of you. We love you.
30 now.
Damn.
Yeah, we've even been posting. So time to get back on it. We gotta show all our 30 followers what's up.
Yeah, our next video we're going to be talking about our experience at the Granite Games last year. Ooh. And we made it to the Granite Games this year in a better division.
And you're repping.
Repping in.
Time to update it.
Yeah, time to get that Fit Aid one.
Was it Fit Aid one?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Fit Aid's going to be there though.
Okay, cool.
Come see us. Come work out at CrossFit.
Where?
Humanity And
Body group.
come see us at Fixed Body Group if you have any injuries, chiro massage or me.
Yeah.
Oh, come see them before you get injured.
Or before you get injured.
Yeah,
We're
just
also
walk
good
in.
for the prehab.
I feel great, but I think I'm gonna hurt them.
I'm about to hurt myself. I've done that before. I'm like, yo, Jared, I'm about to do a lot of handstand push-ups. Can you check out my neck?
So, I guess I want to finish one last thing. Like, with that being said, like, you can kind of tell when something's kind of going wrong. Like, if something feels lopsided, like, for example, my left side doesn't want to cooperate with me. Like, you say, like, you've told me before, like, my adductors aren't strong enough. Like, Jared says, like, my femur's too stuck with my hip. Like, this leg does not want to cooperate. So even though it doesn't really necessarily hurt me, I still see you guys, and it still helps with, like, you know, put it back to where it needs to be. And then when it comes back, I see you guys again, or you guys give me exercise to work on. So it's like making sure that if I notice something, try to be getting proactive.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Only you can prevent forest fires.
I think the say something is like the airport or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, where can they follow you at?
They can follow us on Instagram.
I mean, you.
Oh, follow me? You can follow me at Instagram.
At Instagram? You are Instagram? Follow me at Instagram.
@_ST. I didn't want to put my whole last name on there. It's a little complicated, so I just put the Saint part.
@_Saint.
No, @Chelsea_ST.
Okay. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Learned a lot. Let us know if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe for plenty more videos. New video every Sunday and Wednesday. We're going to try to, as much as we can. Thanks, guys.